1. Case overview. Sean Diddy Combs, born in 1969, is a towering figure in the music industry, known for founding Bad Boy Records and shaping hip-hop through collaborations with icons like the Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, and Usher. With an estimated net worth of $1 billion by 2022, Combs expanded his influence into fashion, alcohol, reality TV, and acting, earning 3 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations. However, since November 2023, his legacy has been overshadowed by a high-profile criminal and civil case involving allegations of sex trafficking, racketeering, physical and emotional abuse, and organized crime. This case, often compared to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, exposes systemic issues in the entertainment industry, where power and fame can shield wrongdoing for decades. The case began with a lawsuit filed by Cassie Ventura, Combs' former girlfriend of over a decade, 2007 to 2018, in New York federal court in November 2023. Ventura accused Combs of rape, physical abuse, and coercing her into drug-fueled sex parties called freak-offs, where victims were allegedly manipulated with drugs like ecstasy, ketamine, and GHB. The lawsuit, settled out of court within a day, triggered a cascade of over 70 civil lawsuits from more than 120 accusers, including 25 minors, alleging similar abuses. These claims paint a picture of a decades-long criminal enterprise, with Combs allegedly using his wealth, influence, and a loyal network to perpetrate and conceal crimes. In September 2024, Combs was arrested in Manhattan after a grand jury indicted him on 3 primary charges: racketeering conspiracy, potential life sentence; sex trafficking by force, minimum 15 years; and transportation for prostitution, 7 to 10 years. Federal raids on his Los Angeles and Miami mansions in March 2024 uncovered damning evidence. Over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, lubricants, drugs, cocaine, MDMA, ketamine, psilocybin, illegal weapons, .45 caliber handgun, AR, 15 components with erased serial numbers, and electronic devices containing videos and images of alleged crimes. These findings support prosecutors' claims that Combs orchestrated a sophisticated operation, using violence, blackmail, and drugs to control victims. The trial, which began on May 5, 2025, in Manhattan Federal Court, is expected to last at least 8 weeks. As of May 22, 2025, it is in its 12th day, with testimony from key witnesses like Cassie Ventura, Dawn Richard, and George Kaplan, Combs' former assistant, dominating proceedings. Ventura's emotional testimony detailed years of abuse, while Kaplan described setting up hotel rooms for freak-offs. The case has drawn global attention, with media outlets like CNN, The Washington Post, and Reuters providing daily updates. Ex-posts, such as from at Inner City Press, highlight the trial's intensity, with graphic testimony driving public discourse. The allegations, particularly those involving minors as young as 9, have sparked widespread outrage, positioning the case as one of Hollywood's most significant scandals. Institutions like Howard University revoked Combs' honorary doctorate and returned a $1 million donation, while Miami Beach canceled his honorary day, reflecting a swift public and institutional backlash. New York City demanded he return its ceremonial key, further eroding his status. Combs' defense, led by attorney Tenny Garagos, argues that the freak-offs were consensual and that accusers are financially motivated. However, the volume of accusers, consistent testimonies, and physical evidence challenge this narrative. The prosecution, led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson, asserts that Combs used his inner circle to facilitate crimes, including kidnapping, arson, and drug distribution. The case's broader implications are profound. It questions the accountability of powerful figures in the entertainment industry and highlights the vulnerability of young artists and employees. An upcoming Netflix documentary by 50 Cent is expected to delve deeper into these issues, keeping the case in the public eye. The trial's outcome could redefine how the industry addresses abuse, potentially leading to stricter protections and greater transparency. As the case unfolds, it serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and the importance of amplifying victims' voices. 2. Key developments in the case. The Sean Diddy Combs case has unfolded through a series of critical developments, transforming it from a single lawsuit into a sprawling legal battle. The saga began on November 16, 2023, when Cassie Ventura filed a civil lawsuit in New York federal court, accusing Combs of rape, physical abuse, and forcing her into freak-offs, drug-fueled sex parties involving coercion and blackmail. Ventura's detailed allegations, spanning their 2007 to 2018 relationship, described Combs using drugs like ecstasy, ketamine, and GHB to manipulate her, recording sexual acts to ensure compliance. The lawsuit was settled within 24 hours, reportedly for $20 million, but it opened the floodgates for over 70 additional civil lawsuits from more than 120 accusers, including 25 minors, alleging similar abuses. On March 25, 2024, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security raided Combs' mansions in Los Angeles and Miami, seizing over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, lubricants, Astroglide, drugs, cocaine, MDMA, ketamine, psilocybin, illegal weapons, .45 caliber handgun, AR, 15 components with erased serial numbers, and electronic devices containing videos and images of alleged freak-offs. These raids, detailed by Homeland Security agent Gerard Gannon during the trial, provided physical evidence supporting claims of a criminal enterprise. A 2016 hotel surveillance video, published by CNN, showing Combs assaulting Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel corridor, became a cornerstone of the prosecution's case, forcing Combs to issue a public apology. Combs was arrested on September 16, 2024, in Manhattan after a grand jury indicted him on 3 charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, and transportation for prostitution. The court denied bail, despite a $50 million offer and GPS monitoring, citing risks of witness tampering or flight. The trial began on May 5, 2025, in Manhattan Federal Court, with Judge Arun Subramanian presiding. As of May 22, 2025, it is in its 12th day, with prosecutors presenting over 50 witnesses and analyzing data from 100-plus electronic devices. Key testimony has come from Cassie Ventura, who testified for 4 days, May 13 to 16, 2025, detailing years of abuse, including a 2018 rape at her home and coerced freak-offs. Her emotional testimony, including reliving the 2016 hotel assault, moved jurors and spectators. Dawn Richard, a former Donity Kane member, testified on May 16 and 17, alleging she witnessed Combs brutally beat Ventura in 2009 and feared for her life after Combs threatened her silence. George Kaplan, Combs' former assistant, testified on May 21, describing his role in setting up hotel rooms with candles, baby oil, and drugs, and procuring MDMA and ketamine for Combs. Regina Ventura, Cassie's mother, testified on May 20th about her daughter's reduced contact during her relationship with Combs and a $20,000 payment demanded by Combs. On May 22, 2025, Scott Kid Cudi Mescudi, who briefly dated Ventura, is scheduled to testify, potentially corroborating her claims. A male hotel employee and an unnamed victim, Gina, are also expected, though contact issues with Gina persist. Ex-posts, like those from at Inner City Press, note the trial's graphic nature, with testimony about freak-offs causing Combs' daughter to leave the courtroom. The defense, led by Tenny Garagos, argues that Combs' actions were consensual, emphasizing explicit text messages from Ventura in 2016 and 2017 expressing affection or enjoyment of freak-offs. Prosecutors counter that these texts reflect coercion, not consent, and point to physical evidence and consistent victim accounts. The trial's intensity, amplified by media coverage from outlets like the Washington Post and Reuters and public sentiment on X, underscores its significance. Posts from @VigilantFox highlight prosecutors' portrayal of Combs as a manipulative figure, while @Return of Cappy notes the case's emotional toll. The case's developments, from Ventura's lawsuit to the ongoing trial, reveal a complex web of alleged crimes, with the prosecution building a case around a decades-long pattern of abuse. Upcoming testimony and evidence analysis will likely deepen the case's impact, potentially reshaping how the entertainment industry addresses accountability and victim protection. 3. Allegations and evidence. The allegations against Sean Diddy Combs center on 3 criminal charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, and transportation for prostitution. Additionally, over 70 civil lawsuits from more than 120 accusers, including 25 minors, allege sexual assault, physical abuse, and manipulation spanning from 1991 to 2024. The prosecution claims Combs operated a criminal enterprise, using his fame, wealth, and network to coerce victims into drug-fueled sex parties, freak-offs, employing violence, blackmail, and drugs to maintain control. The allegations paint a picture of systemic abuse, with freak-offs described as multi-day events where victims were drugged with MDMA, ketamine, and GHB, and filmed for blackmail. Key allegations: Cassie Ventura, the primary accuser, testified that Combs raped her in 2018, physically abused her, including a 2016 hotel assault, and coerced her into freak-offs during their 2007 to 2018 relationship. She described Combs controlling her life, demanding participation in sexual acts with male escorts while he watched, and threatening her career. Dawn Richard, a Diddy Kane member, alleged witnessing Combs beat Ventura in 2009 and facing threats to stay silent. Other accusers, like Kendra Haffney, 2007, and Leslie Cockrells, 1999, claim Combs drugged and assaulted them at parties. Most disturbingly, 25 minors, including a 9-year-old, allege abuse at fake auditions or events, drawing comparisons to the Epstein case. Evidence: the March 2024 raids on Combs' Los Angeles and Miami mansions yielded critical evidence. Homeland Security agent Gerard Gannon testified about seizing over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, lubricants, Astroglide, drugs, cocaine, MDMA, ketamine, psilocybin, and illegal weapons, .45 caliber handgun, AR, 15 components with erased serial numbers. Electronic devices contain videos and images of alleged freak-offs, supporting blackmail claims. A 2016 hotel surveillance video, published by CNN, shows Combs assaulting Ventura, corroborating her testimony and forcing his apology. Text messages from 2016 and 2017, presented by the defense, show Ventura expressing affection or enjoyment of freak-offs, but she testified these were coerced responses. Witness testimony: Cassie Ventura's 4-day testimony, May 13 to 16, 2025, detailed graphic abuse, including a 2018 rape and weekly freak-offs. Dawn Richards' testimony on May 16 and 17 described Combs' 2009 assault on Ventura and threats to her life. George Kaplan, Combs' former assistant, testified on May 21 about procuring drugs and setting up hotel rooms with candles, baby oil, and liquor for freak-offs. Regina Ventura, Cassie's mother, testified on May 20 about Combs demanding $20,000 and her daughter's isolation. Sheree Hayes, a male escort, described creating sexy scenes for Combs and Ventura. Defense arguments: Combs' defense, led by Tenny Garagos, argues that freak-offs were consensual, citing Ventura's texts and claiming accusers seek financial gain. They admit Combs had a temper and committed domestic violence, but deny sex trafficking or racketeering. Prosecutors counter with evidence of coercion, consistent victim accounts, and physical evidence, arguing that consent was impossible under Combs' control. Public and media reaction: the allegations, especially those involving minors, have sparked outrage. Ex-posts, like from At Return of Cappy, highlight the trial's graphic nature, noting its emotional impact on Combs' family. Media outlets like The Guardian and CBS News emphasize the 2016 video and minor allegations as pivotal. The volume of accusers and evidence strengthens the prosecution's case, though some ex-posts, like it plus from prior context, suggest potential financial motives. The case's gravity, amplified by consistent victim narratives and physical evidence, underscores its potential to expose systemic abuse in the entertainment industry. 4. Individuals involved. The Sean Diddy Combs case involves a vast network of individuals, from victims and witnesses to celebrities tangentially linked. Cassie Ventura, the primary accuser, filed a lawsuit in November 2023, alleging rape, physical abuse, and coerced participation in freak-offs during her 2007 to 2018 relationship with Combs. Her 4-day testimony, May 13 to 16, 2025, detailed a 2018 rape, weekly sex parties, and control via drugs and blackmail. Her lawsuit, settled for $20 million, inspired over 120 accusers, including 25 minors, to come forward. Dawn Richard, a former Diddy Kane member, testified on May 16 and 17, alleging she saw Combs beat Ventura in 2009 and faced threats to stay silent. Kendra Haffney, 2007, and Leslie Cockrells, 1999, accused Combs of drugging and assaulting them at parties. A male entertainer, John Doe, alleged trafficking in coerced strip shows from 2007 to 2012. George Kaplan, Combs' former assistant, testified on May 21st about setting up hotel rooms with candles, baby oil, lubricants, and liquor for freak-offs, and procuring MDMA and ketamine under Combs' orders. Granted immunity to avoid self-incrimination, Kaplan's testimony detailed his role in protecting Combs' image by cleaning up evidence. Regina Ventura, Cassie's mother, testified on May 20th about Combs demanding $20,000 and her daughter's isolation during their relationship. Sheree Hayes, a male escort, described creating sexy scenes for Combs and Ventura. Carrie Morgan, Ventura's former friend, testified about witnessing Combs' attacks on Ventura. Scott "Kid Cudi" Mescudi, who dated Ventura briefly, is set to testify on May 22, 2025, potentially corroborating her claims. An unnamed victim, Gina, and a male hotel employee are also expected, though contact issues persist. Celebrities like Justin Bieber, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Jennifer Lopez, Usher, Mariah Carey, Paris Hilton, and LeBron James have been mentioned due to their attendance at Combs' white parties. Speculation, particularly about Bieber, stems from his early mentorship by Combs and suggestive song lyrics, but no direct evidence links them to crimes. Suge Knight, Combs' rival currently in prison, claimed a former employee lured minors, but lacks direct involvement. Tubby Holiday, a former Combs employee and Giant Records president, is accused of luring victims, but has not responded. Lucian Grange, Universal Music Group CEO, denied aiding Combs after rumors surfaced. Prosecution and defense. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson leads the prosecution, arguing Combs used his inner circle for crimes like arson and kidnapping. Defense attorney Tenny Garagos claims consensual relationships and financial motives, admitting domestic violence but denying trafficking. Judge Arun Subramanian oversees the trial, navigating evidentiary disputes. Public sentiment. Ex-posts, like from At Return of Cappy, note the trial's emotional toll, with Combs' daughter leaving the courtroom during graphic testimony. At Inner City Press provides live updates, emphasizing the case's complexity. The large number of accusers and witnesses, combined with media coverage from CBS News and The Guardian, suggests potential further implications. The involvement of high-profile figures, even peripherally, fuels speculation about industry complicity, though evidence remains limited to Combs' actions. The case's scope, with over 50 witnesses and 100-plus electronic devices analyzed, underscores its complexity. Upcoming testimony from Kid Cudi and others could expand the list of involved parties, potentially implicating more industry figures if new evidence emerges. 5. Impact on the entertainment industry. The Sean Diddy Combs case has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, exposing systemic issues of power abuse, silence, and accountability. Compared to the Jeffrey Epstein case, it reveals how influential figures can allegedly perpetrate crimes for decades, shielded by fame and wealth. The allegations of sex trafficking, minor abuse, and racketeering have eroded public trust in the music industry in Hollywood, prompting a re-evaluation of how power dynamics enable abuse. Reputational fallout. Combs' fall from grace is stark. Howard University revoked his honorary doctorate and returned a $1 million donation, citing his actions as incompatible with its values. New York City demanded the return of its ceremonial key, and Miami Beach canceled his honorary day, signaling institutional rejection of a once-celebrated icon. Brands like Sean John and business partners are distancing themselves, with reports from CNN indicating potential financial losses for Combs' empire. These actions reflect a broader shift in how the industry and public view figures implicated in serious allegations. Media and public response. The case has dominated global media, with outlets like The Washington Post, CBS News, and Reuters providing daily trial updates. The 2016 hotel video of Combs assaulting Ventura, viewed by millions, has become a symbol of the case's gravity, amplified by its courtroom use. Ex-posts, such as from @Vigilant Fox and @Inner City Press, highlight public outrage, particularly over minor allegations, with hashtags like #Diddy trending. Some posts, like @Return of Cappy, note the emotional toll, with Combs' daughter leaving during graphic testimony. However, others, like prior @Plus posts, question whether some accusers seek financial gain, reflecting polarized sentiment. An upcoming Netflix documentary by 50 Cent is expected to further expose industry secrets, keeping the case in the spotlight. Industry accountability. The case has sparked debates about complicity in Hollywood. Celebrities like Justin Bieber, Jay-Z, and Usher, linked to Combs' white parties, face scrutiny, though no evidence directly implicates them. Dawn Richards' testimony about fearing for her life after witnessing abuse suggests a culture of silence, where employees and artists felt pressured to comply. The Washington Post notes that the case could lead to stricter protections for young artists and staff, as the industry grapples with its failure to address earlier whispers of Combs' behavior. Systemic issues. The allegations, particularly those involving minors, highlight vulnerabilities in the entertainment industry. Fake auditions and parties allegedly used to lure victims underscore the need for oversight. The prosecution's claim that Combs' inner circle facilitated crimes like arson and kidnapping suggests a network of enablers, raising questions about how many knew but stayed silent. The Guardian emphasizes that Ventura's courage in coming forward has empowered other victims, potentially sparking a #MeToo-like movement in music. However, risks of exaggerated claims for financial gain, as noted in some ex-posts, complicate the narrative, requiring careful scrutiny. Long-term impact. The case could reshape the industry by forcing organizations to implement safeguards, such as mandatory reporting or independent oversight. It may also embolden victims to speak out, as seen with the 120-plus accusers following Ventura's lawsuit. The industry's response, whether through policy changes or continued silence, will determine its commitment to change. The case's visibility, amplified by media and social platforms, ensures it will influence public perception and industry practices for years, challenging the notion of untouchable celebrities. 6. Future prospects. The Sean Diddy Combs trial, now in its 12th day as of May 22, 2025, is a pivotal moment that could determine his fate and reshape the entertainment industry. Combs faces charges of racketeering conspiracy, life sentence, sex trafficking by force, 15 years minimum, and transportation for prostitution, 7 to 10 years. With over 120 accusers, 70-plus civil lawsuits, and substantial evidence, including 1,000-plus bottles of baby oil, drugs, weapons, and incriminating videos, conviction seems likely. The prosecution, led by Emily Johnson, argues Combs ran a criminal enterprise for decades, using his inner circle for crimes like arson and kidnapping. The defense, led by Tenny Garagos, admits domestic violence but insists freak-offs were consensual, citing Ventura's texts and alleging financial motives. Ongoing trial. Testimony from Cassie Ventura, Dawn Richard, and George Kaplan has been damning, detailing abuse, coercion, and logistics of freak-offs. Scott "Kid Cudi" Mescuddi's testimony today could corroborate Ventura's claims, while a hotel employee and Gina may provide further insights, despite contact issues with the latter. Over 50 witnesses and 100-plus electronic devices analyzed strengthen the prosecution's case. The 2016 hotel video and raid evidence are central, with jurors reportedly moved by graphic accounts. Combs' smiling demeanor has drawn criticism, with ex-posts like at Return of Cappy noting its impact on his family. Legal outcomes. A conviction could lead to life imprisonment, ending Combs' career and legacy. Even if acquitted, his reputation is irreparably damaged, with boycotts by Howard University, New York City, and Miami Beach signaling a permanent fall. Civil lawsuits will likely continue, draining his finances. The case's scope could implicate others, with names like Justin Bieber and Jay-Z mentioned, though unproven. If new evidence emerges, additional figures or organizations could face scrutiny, expanding the legal fallout. Cultural impact. The case has ignited discussions on power abuse, sexual violence, and celebrity accountability. Ventura's testimony has empowered victims, potentially sparking a broader movement. Ex-posts, like at Vigilant Fox, emphasize Combs' manipulative tactics, while media outlets like the Washington Post predict industry reforms. A 50 Cent Netflix documentary will likely deepen public scrutiny, keeping the case relevant. However, polarized sentiment, with some questioning accusers' motives, highlights the need for careful evidence evaluation. Industry reforms. The case could force the music industry to implement safeguards, such as independent oversight or mandatory reporting, to protect young artists and staff. The allegations of minor abuse underscore vulnerabilities, particularly in auditions and events. The prosecution's focus on Combs' enablers suggests a need to address complicity. If the industry fails to act, public trust may further erode, as seen in ex posts demanding justice. Future scenarios. A conviction would cement the case as a turning point, pushing for systemic change. An acquittal might allow Combs to attempt a comeback, but boycotts and public sentiment make this unlikely. The case's visibility ensures ongoing scrutiny, with victims' voices amplified. The entertainment industry faces a choice: embrace reform or risk further scandals. The trial's outcome, expected by July 2025, will shape these prospects, with lasting implications for accountability and transparency. Conclusion. The Sean Diddy Combs case is a landmark scandal, exposing a network of alleged abuse and challenging the entertainment industry's accountability. With overwhelming evidence, numerous accusers, and ongoing testimony, the trial's outcome will likely convict Combs and prompt systemic reforms. Its cultural and legal ramifications will resonate for years, amplified by media and public discourse.